All right, welcome to tonight's workshop on your best sleep with addressing your sleep posture and your pillows. I cannot think of anyone that this topic does not affect, right? We are all sleeping at night, hopefully. We are all sleeping on something, and we're all utilizing probably something as a pillow. And so where I first want to start is if there's some information that you can get from this workshop that can impact how you sleep, how you rest, how your body recovers and heals on a nightly basis, who do you know that you can share this information with? Because I know, maybe it's just certainly because of the practice that we are in, but you can ask Dr. Kristen or I, how many people ask us, what is the best pillow? Do you have a mattress recommendation? I have 10 pillows at home. None of them work. I am constantly rotating pillows because I can't figure out which one works. And if you Google pillows, you'll find that Google can offer you thousands of options of different types of pillows. So we were all looking for the best way to support our best sleep. And so that's my ask of you at the start is who do you know that you can share this with? Because we are all trying to get our best night's sleep, right? Doesn't matter if we're under chiropractic care or not. And where I first like to start on that note is what happens when we sleep. There's something called the glymphatic system. I believe it was maybe in 2007 or sometime in the 20 teens that the glymphatic system was found. And the glymphatic system is like the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is constantly gathering excess waste and excess fluids in your body and recycling it through the kidneys. Okay. If you're ever sick, your lymph nodes are really tender through here. Those lymph nodes have been really working hard within your immune system to gather any viral or bacterial particles and inserting it into the blood flow to get to the kidneys to get rid of it, right? So lymphatic system is really important for our body and our immune system. Well, the glymphatic system is really important for our brain. And what we see in the glymphatic system that it is significantly more active at night. And we see that our brain cells actually shrink so the glymphatic system can do its job to remove waste and excess particles that the brain makes during day-to-day time activities. So this system is clearing out any waste and excess stuff that's hanging around the brain. It's allowing for recovery. It's cleaning things up. And sleep is vital for that system to do its job. So if you ever get poor sleep or have, I can oftentimes find that when I've had maybe too much to drink, my sleep is different. So if there's a chemical toxicity, that your brain has been exposed to more toxins than normal, that glymphatic system, and you don't sleep well. So that glymphatic system isn't highly operational to remove all the excess waste that is, generated from day-to-day living or excessive, I'll call it more life, that we are slow, we are fatigued, we can't function very well that next day. And so when we sleep, it is when our body recovers. And we are talking about how to support your best sleep through environmental components of passively supporting our structure through pillows and mattresses or our postures tonight. Okay. So let's first start with when we talk about mattress. Okay. We all have the same, Dr. Kristen says this a lot, which I really appreciate. We all have the same parts and pieces, but it does not mean that we are all the same, right? We have different families that we come from, different genetic expressions that are expressing themselves day to day. We have different lifestyles and injuries that we've sustained. We have different health histories. So even though we all have the same parts and pieces, right? We all have a spine. We all have two eyes and a nose. We all have discs between each vertebra of the spine. We have lungs, we have hearts. We all have the same parts and pieces. It's just how we're expressing ourselves is different. And so there is no one mattress for every body, everybody, right? And you'll hear people say, oh, I love this mattress. This is the best mattress. And the person, next to him will say, I hated that mattress. That mattress didn't work for me, right? So it's really about finding what fits for your body with where you are in health. And a lot of times where you were, let's say, a person who was under chiropractic care 10 years, the person in their body 10 years ago versus where it is now, very different, right? So it can change. And oftentimes we see people who start getting under chiropractic care start to experience sleep differently, start to posture differently. So first I want to say there's no one mattress for every body. And typically our preference is a medium to firm mattress to support your body, right? You don't want to be sinking into a mattress, even though when you sink in, it feels like, oh, I'm laying in clouds, right? We need to make sure our body has, and our spine has appropriate support. Just like when we are standing and in, our regular day-to-day postures, right? When we're laying down in our postures, we want to make sure there's clear brain body signaling so that the brain can recover like it's meant to, and we're supporting our structure like it's meant to be supported. So typically, Dr. Chris and I will recommend a more medium to firm mattress. And my recommendation is that you go into the store and you lay on the mattresses. You experience them. And sometimes they're more firm, sometimes they have pillow tops, sometimes they're memory foam. There are so many options. And I put this purple mattress picture up here. Purple mattress, I think, was more of the rage, in the last 10 years because they didn't use the typical, coil system. They used this waffle silicone system in multiple layers, which is very different than historically what mattresses have been made of. But as you can see, there's a lot of engineering that goes into building this mattress specifically. And I'm using purple as an example. It's not necessarily, I think the purple needs to be everybody's mattress. It's just what's out there. So if you've all sat on a couch where you sink into those cushions and you feel like, oh, I don't really have the proper support. And then after sitting on that couch for maybe a couple minutes or a couple hours, you get up, you're like, oh, I just don't feel good. That's because you didn't have the proper support. So that's where when you have the medium to firm, it is giving your head, your spine, your shoulders and hips, you're giving those pressure points that are so needed to support a structure, to support good signaling between the brain and the body. You're supporting that while you're sleeping, right? And I would make sure when you purchase a mattress, that most of those mattresses do have a trial period, right? They say if you have 90 days or you have 120 days to try out this mattress, or 30 days. I want you to really think about when you purchase a mattress to use it as a trial period. This mattress needs to prove to you that it is the right mattress for you, right? I know it sometimes can be a real hassle. You get really excited about having a mattress, but if it's not right for you, have no qualms about returning it and getting the right mattress, right? And I do want to bring up this point in terms of having, a quality mattress in terms of the what they're using as far as quality of and sourcing those products or fabrics. There is off-gassing that happens when you purchase a mattress. And, there's no research saying that it is at levels that will harm you. And a lot of times they will say when you take this mattress out, if it's coming from, male, it's in plastic, right? And they say, take it out in a room that has lots of windows, because you want to open up the windows and allow for that mattress to open up. And there is off-gassing. I mean, there's materials that are used, mattresses and furniture and carpets that can be harmful and can build up and have a cumulative impact on our systems, especially if we are more sensitive or have allergies. Sometimes those people will experience that. So if you use or purchase a mattress that is more, I guess, environmentally friendly or organic, they're looking at the sources and materials they're using that may have less off-gassing. But you want to make sure that you take that time to support the mattress. And sometimes it takes a couple days to do that, right? I know when we get excited about a mattress, number one, we want it to be the right mattress and we want to use it right away. And just make sure to keep that in mind when you're selecting your mattress. But the biggest thing with this one is, you know, go to like a Denver mattress or go to an urban mattress and try out the mattresses and bring your own pillow, or get your mattress and then you're going to look at, okay, what's the right pillow for me? Probably a better place to start, right? Is get a good mattress. I can't tell you how many people who come in and say, I got a new mattress and my body feels completely different. So we also have to realize that a mattress has a life cycle. It has a lifetime. So if your mattress has, you know, if it's bubbling or if it has dips or if it's lumpy, it is time to get a new mattress, right? That is going to be the best bang for your buck long term. We spend how many hours in our lifetime sleeping? It is worth getting the right mattress for you. So let's go to sleep posture here. And we'll get into this in a little bit more detail. I know the slide is pretty bare. But I want you to understand that when you have a mattress, you can see this gentleman, the top full body picture, that is the ideal posturing if you're laying on your side. You can see that he is totally lined up from his hips all the way up to his neck. You don't see, if you go to that middle picture, you don't see that dip where it's really dropping his pelvis and his hips down and creating a curve in his spine, right? And not only that, but he's got this pillow that is propping up his head here. So he's not only dipped on the bottom, he's dipped down and he's dipped up top, right? I don't know about you, but if you were to stand for the next 8 hours with your head this way or your head this way, how are you going to feel? Exactly. Yeah, we got a 14-pound watermelon in the house this week telling us, wow, our head's gonna be really heavy. So when we put that head into a distorted posture and we keep it that way, it feels pretty stressful. Well, this is what you're doing every night when you lay down for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, right? So you really want to make sure you've got the proper sleep posturing and the proper pillow and mattress to support the most aligned state. We like back and side sleepers. Stomach, and here's actually, when it comes to the stomach, I sat through a pediatric seminar, and the neurological chiropractor talked about when you look at how humans developed and the posturings that we took on, he talked about innately we are stomach sleepers. Go back to caveman days, probably found those guys laying on their stomachs. Mm-hmm. If they were laying on their backs, guess what? Whoever walks by, you are getting to feast on all of our vital organs. And actually, he showed research that infants who sleep on their stomachs tend to have, they're less likely to develop scoliosis. So there's a component of stomach sleeping innately that I believe we were designed to be in. And yet we are very far away from where our ancestors were long ago. If we're sleeping on our stomach, it is putting a lot more stress on all the organs, putting a lot of pressure. But oftentimes we don't have great range of motion up through here to handle this type of posturing, right? So most of the time you'll hear people recommending back and side sleeping. And that's where back and side sleeping, we can do more to control the alignment of our structure and spine. And we'll get into a little bit more of this back and side sleeping here in a second. because we've got some pictures of me in the office with how we're using pillows to support how we're sleeping. Okay. But most of the time you'll hear Dr. Chris and I recommending to sleep on our back or sleep on our side. Okay. The challenging thing is when we go to sleep, we are like not conscious of the postures we're taking on. And so that's where, I've got somebody who was a side sleeper, started having, all of her life started having shoulder pain. She's like, I can't handle being on my side. And so we worked with her to get into a pillow that would actually keep her more on her back. And it's been a lot better. But it takes some work to change that. So the company that we really like to use in terms of pillows is called PillowWise. Dr. Chris and I both use these pillows. And it was about around the time of, both, I think I got it before I got pregnant, but around the time of pregnancy that we were introduced to this. And if you know anything about pregnancy, body's doing a lot of changes and you want to make sure you're getting the best sleep you can at night. And so this is around the time where we were introduced to it. What we love about PillowWise, number one, it was designed by a physical therapist, so somebody who understands and knows the body. Number two, it's made of a higher quality foam, and there's a 5-year warranty on this, which is pretty great. So it's going to last you a long time. And when it comes to, and what's great is you can take off the cover and you can clean it, so it doesn't impact the foam. But with this pillow, we can actually do very specific measurements on your body. And is a pillow designed to fit you based on if you're a side or a back sleeper and the size of your shoulders, where your head is in space relative to your shoulder, and the size of your neck. And so this will actually tell us what is the best pillow for you in terms of using this brand. Now, like mattresses, there is no one pillow for everybody. So, I would say, in the time that I've been we've been recommending pillows, there's probably been 3 or 4 people, I'll say 5, probably been 5 people who've tried the pillow and said it didn't work for them. Okay, so a pretty small handful compared to the amount of people who purchased this pillow. But the great thing is there is a warranty and there's a money back guarantee within a certain time frame. And here's the thing about your chiropractic care is you've got 2 chiropractors who are willing to support you with your quest to find the best pillow, right? So although we recommend this because personally we've experienced some really great benefits from it, we find that if this doesn't work for you, let's find, the best and most right pillow for you. I think a lot of times, you're like, oh, I got, like my dad picks up the $15 IKEA pillows. You're like, oh, I got another, 3-4 pillows at IKEA, and I just bunch them up and, use them. So I think if you can be more intentional around getting a pillow that's going to work with you and to work with your body where you are at, the chances of you sleeping better and supporting your body are better. So even though we talk about PillowWise being the pillow that we recommend for most people, we will help you find the best pillow, right? Because pillows aren't cheap. You have people who go through, you can spend $100 or more on a pillow and they're like, oh, I'm on my 4th pillow, I'm trying it out. So if we can streamline that for you, whether it's through PillowWise or something else, we will be happy to do so. So let's just look at a few things. So this is me laying on a red pillow. So red is what I was measured at when I was a couple years back. And I want you to see when we're looking at this is, and I drew a line in there so you can, and let me just pause here because I am not laying on my bed. I am laying on a very hard chiropractic table. Okay. So when you're looking at a pillow, you want to make sure it works for the mattress that you are laying on, right? So I first would start with, you got a good supportive mattress that works for your body. Now let's build a pillow into it and let's build the right pillow into it. So already I can tell that, while this pillow is great, it's not the best pillow that I could be in terms, it's not, well, frankly, it's not the pillow, it's the table. It's the table that's the problem, because you can see how I'm sinking down this way.
Yeah.
Versus staying straight across. And I'll show you online here. Let me get my annotation here. So again, I'm really looking at, you know, I drew in my orange line here, but you can see how I'm going this, that's straighter than my body is. Let's try that again. You can see how, you know, I'm dropping down this way, down through here, right? So this is really a problem with the table. So I should not be sleeping overnight on my table, right? But if we look at, you know, up top here, you can see how nice my neck is right along the spine, right through here. And that's where, when we've had people who take these home, because we do have demo pillows here, we say, you know what, get it on the pillow or the mattress that you use and have somebody take a picture of you laying on your pillow. If you're a side sleeper, we definitely want you laying on the pillow side sleeping, and then laying on your back, which I'll show you a few pictures here in a second. This is, I would say, a really great pillow for me based on what I'm seeing with where my neck and my shoulders are. And I would want to get this on my mattress to see how it compares. Does that make sense? Now let's go to the next slide here. Now, I also want you to see, you guys see that up there? I'm going to move the picture down. So I want you to see my hips. Now, if you're side sleeping, the other one I want you to look at is we should be assessing our pelvis, okay? And my orange line is really light here. But I've got a pillow between my knees because I want to balance out my pelvis. I don't want it, you know, I don't want the my knees to go in and push my pelvis down this way. I'm trying to keep that pelvis level. Now, a lot of times you're seeing my knees stacked on each other, like doing an L. Sometimes if people like to roll a little bit more towards the front, sometimes you can have the bottom leg stay straight, the pillow underneath you here, so the top one goes into an L. You got to support there. But the goal is to keep your pelvis in line so it's not over rotating right to left. Now, if you look at my shoulders are also matching that angle. Okay, they're not totally rotated, so I'm stacked, which I'm going to show you on this next picture. If you look at the right, where I'm stacked, this puts a lot of stress right directly on the left shoulder. So when you're side sleeping, I would encourage you to lay more on the shoulder blade, you know, back this way. And if you need to stack some pillows behind you to support that, you can do that. But I want to make sure you're keeping your pelvis in line and then your shoulders in line. And I actually grabbed a pillow that I could hug to keep those shoulders in line too. So I'm not putting total stress on this left shoulder like I am in the right side. I'm taking stress off of that, opening up that angle, grabbing a pillow and keeping this upper part in more balance. Well, I also have a pillow down below. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So there's pillows, and I would say there's, again, mattress to support your whole structure, then getting the right pillow for your neck, and then using accessory pillows to support other parts where you need to support your body. Does that make sense? Now, this last one that I did, I should have lengthened that table. This bed is just too short for me here. But when you're laying on your back, if you have a slight bend in your knees, that takes stress off of the lumbar spine. So you can put a pillow under your knees if you tend to be a back sleeper. Now, one thing, number one, we have already established that this table is not the right mattress for me. Okay. And if you look at that orange line, you can see how my head is slightly up. Okay, so number one, I'd be curious if I take a picture of myself on my mattress at home, if I see a more neutral spine. Okay. This might be why I actually prefer side sleeping more than I did. I used to be a back sleeper, and now after pregnancy, I tend to sleep on my side much more, and I'm much more comfortable. And it may be because I'm in a pillow that's not fitting me the best for when I'm on my back. So I would take a picture on my back and on my side with this pillow at home to see, do I have a neutral spine in both postures? Because I can tell right here based on this mattress, this pillow is too high. And you can see how I'm tilted up this way. Does that make sense? So you really, again, want to make sure that you are have the proper alignment all the way down. So there's lots of things wrong with this picture, which is really funny. But you can see my head is tilted, so and again, you want to make sure that that's long enough. Yeah, this is why it's challenging for really tall people, right? Like I have to sleep diagonally in my bed because that gives me the length. So, but otherwise, if we're looking at this, that's pretty straight, except for where my feet are landing, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure you've got balance there. So, my hope is with this conversation, and Dr. Kristen did a really great workshop where she dove into a lot more details on and showed those details in more than just a picture. She actually showed those details on the last workshop that we did about 9 months ago. So I think these would be both good to go over that recording to get more of the information we've already shared with you, and then just circle back to what I've shared with you today. Because Dr. Kristen did a great job with it. But number one, I think it's really first assessing the health of your mattress, and then looking at how does your pillow fit with your mattress? How do you sleep? And then let's start to document, those two together. Get on your pillow with how you're sleeping, and let's take some pictures and then bring it in, and we can start to assess your sleep posture. Just like we would assess somebody's workstation setup. How can you support the best sleep posture that works for you? You're already going to be sleeping. So this is something that you can think of in terms of passively supporting you for not only your best night's rest, but getting up in the morning and feeling great, ready to go. Just like an orthotic, right? An orthotic is supporting you without you needing to think about it, but you've already done the work to align yourself when you're weight bearing. Just like if you're at a workstation, you're setting your workstation up to work for you, right? We are sleeping every night, so you might as well make sure your sleep is working for you. Okay, and I'll end with, again, I started with this, but who do you know that you can share this with so that your friends and family can have a better night's sleep, so they can be their best selves when they wake up in the morning and do what they're meant to do and live on purpose, right? Everyone has a purpose. It's just how well they're able to express it and have clarity of mind and energy to do those things. And we're doing an appreciation week next week. We have time still available. And we do that because we want to create a healthier community. And Dr. Kristen and I, Jesse, Kayla, and I, we all need your help to do that. It's not just my community I'm living in. We're living in our community together. And the more people who are getting checked and understanding the importance of their spine and their brain and how they live their life, the better off we all are, right? And the worst thing we could hear is, I wish somebody would have told me. And there are some people who know and they don't want it. And there's a lot of people who just don't even know, right? So we need to think about who are the people who don't know, who could really benefit and experience a life-changing trajectory in their health, in their life, right? Because it starts now for where we're headed in the next 30 years. So I love and appreciate you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being a part of our community and practice. You are family to us. We love you, and we want the best for you now and forever, as long as we are here. So we'll see you next week for Appreciation Week. We got some fun things going on this week, so make sure you come in and play with us. But we'll have some fun things going on next week too, and celebrating all of your loved ones and friends and community as we support a healthier, stronger, more vitalistic community together. So love and appreciate you, Dr. Miaken of Monarch Family Chiropractic. And we'll see you next time.
I think you should blow that picture.